Alright, what's up Transformer fans? It's the video review of Transformers Generations 30th Anniversary Legends Class Megatron and Chop Shop. And these are the 30th anniversary guys based directly off of the IDW comic. And this Megatron, I actually have read the comic. It's Megatron Origins. This is the Megatron. He's directly designed after the Megatron from Megatron Origins. And I don't know where the heck Chop Shop came from, but I'm glad to have him. He's really neat. So let's take a look at Chop Shop here for a second. Chop Shop is this little red beetle-looking thing with these pincers up front. He's got this kind of pinkish silver detailing here on the top, which is really neat. Underneath you can clearly see the robot mode, and we'll go ahead and transform him. And there, now he's a robot. Very simple transformation, a little disappointing actually. He's got the same kind of detail here, and this is a peg clearly for weapon. And he's got kind of orange down here. He looks nice standing by himself. Definitely wish there was a little bit more of a transformation involved. He does have pivots here at the shoulders, but the only other articulation is the in and out here at the legs. So that's kind of a bummer. But I will say that his robot mode is pretty burly. I kind of like the design of it, and you can also flip this peg down, and he's kind of a pincer claw weapon, maybe even a shield if you used it right. But one of my favorite features of this little guy is that if you flip the arms up like he's doing the YMCA dance, you can spread the legs all the way out like this to where he's doing the splits, and it reveals on the inside these details, all these little techie details. Sorry, the camera just really focused out on me. All these little really nice techie details like pistons and vents and all kinds of stuff in there that I'm a big fan of when they do that, because they don't have to do it, but they do, and I'm a really big fan of it. But you'll notice there's a couple, it's a little hollow in here, and that's because these little two nubs on the end of Megatron, actually, these can peg into. Those little pegs can peg into Chop Shop. Sorry, it is late and I've not done a video in a while. I'm kind of stumbling over myself, but it's okay because this is fun. And now you've kind of got a Megatron with a, I want to say like a Minesweep addition onto the front of his tank. It really adds a nice element of terror, because it's got those little, the pincers are spread open as like blades, and then the little hands are coming out and they've got the spikes on them, so they look like, it definitely looks like a Minesweeper edition. And you know what, to be honest, the red doesn't bother me too much. The fact that there's really no red on Megatron in vehicle mode, there's some on him in robot mode, but I think the red looks really nice. It definitely adds to the fact that it feels like an add-on, and it would have been nice if it could have kind of integrated in color-wise, but I think that it works in the fact that if this was a real tank and it had a Minesweeper on the front, I doubt it would be the same color as the tank, because they can't match the color of every tank. So it kind of feels like an addition that just kind of goes on and feels like, hey, it draws attention to it, and I really like that. So most lengthy description of an add-on ever goes to me. So there's Chop Shop, and now we'll take a look at Megatron. So I was going to go ahead and compare Megatron to a tank in that size class, but it appears that the only one I really have is Shockwave from Transformers Prime, the Commander class, and he's totally a different beast, because this Megatron is like, he's definitely not a Cybertronian tank. He's more of a little compact. I'm not a military buff, but I think a Sherman is pretty close. I know that's like the default tank to go to, but he looks kind of like a Sherman. But he rolls really nice. He's got these little wheels on the bottom here. There's actually 4 of them. Detail-wise, he's a really nice kind of a slate gray. It's got a kind of a shiny texture with this nice kind of off kind of a darker brown. I was about to say off black, but off white is, I don't know where I was going with that. But you can see it up here on the top of the tank turret too, in what are clearly the hands, but they look really nice. As I like how they sweep forward. It kind of, the lines really work for me. Obviously, this is painted on. It's not matched very well, and these plastic bits here are a lighter kind of off-white. Back here, you got some yellow detail, which is really neat. And other than that, he rolls. The tank turret does spin all the way, and it does even elevate and lower. So that's nice. Up top, you can see there's a peg hole where you can put Chop Shop in vehicle mode again. And I should have shown this off earlier, but I forgot. So you can kind of have Chop Shop mount up there. But I prefer the front mounted. Anyway. But let's transform him. What you want to do first, you want to take the whole sides of the tank and you want to split them and bring them all the way down. Then you take this little piece here and it flips up. And then this accordion folds all the way up, like so, to make the legs, which is a really neat element of transformation. I've never seen that done before in like a tank former, but it really gives them a nice element of bulk to the legs. Then you take the tank turret up top and you split it, and then this is spring loaded, so you push this in and simultaneously clamp these around the sides of the torso, and that locks that into place. Then you take the gun and it rotates, and then the hands rotate around. Rotate the hands around. And that's it. There's Megatron in his robot mode. And it's really nice. And like I said, he is based off of the Megatron origins, so he's the minor Megatron, not like minor as in like not an adult, as in minor as in he's in like an Energon mine. And I really like the design cues here of the stripes, like the construction worker stripes, and he's even got the nice, if you read the comic, I did, this is one of the few comics I've ever read, the Megatron Origins, he had this M on his forehead. He's got a really nice neurotic look on his face, really nice industrial looking helmet with the visor up top, the caution visor. He's just very nice, and you can see the Decepticon logo there, and it's got even like a honeycomb pattern on the inside of the stripes. But very nice. I'm a fan of the red that's integrated in to the robot mode. So I'm a big fan of this Megatron. So standing next to Chop Shop here, you can see he's a lot bigger than Chop Shop. But he is a little bit smaller if I was to move these guys over. Say Transformers Prime Cyberverse Megatron is a little bit taller than he is. And then in addition, bring Chop Shop up front here. Here's Shockwave in robot mode again. And you can see, Shockwave's really hard to stand up because of his wheel feet. But you can see here that they are not as tall as Commanders. They're kind of in between, really. And it's a really nice size class that I'm a fan of. I'm a big fan of the in between, not like necessarily Legends tier, like here's Bumblebee from my last review. Not necessarily this size, but not necessarily the Commander. They're a really nice, well-rounded, like medium type size. So I'm a big fan of this size. And once again, Chop Shop, when he folds up, and his little, I just did it behind camera, but you probably need to see that, flips out like this. You can plug him into this arm, if the peg doesn't go inside. And he can do that. You can have him as a little pincher weapon. I like to imagine that it's like a claw that Megatron would use as like, rawr, and like gut somebody, which sounds very Megatron-y. But you can also do the mode from before and splay it open like this and have that kind of twist sideways or whatever way you want, and just have this big old huge bulking thing on Megatron's arm. But weapon-wise, in robot mode, Chop Shop doesn't really do that much. But what does do a good job is Megatron's tank turret, which really accentuates the shape of his fusion cannon, just elongated like a tank turret should be. And you can even kind of flip it around, and right here it kind of resembles the fusion cannon from Transformers Prime a little bit. With, I may just be estimating or visualizing using my imagination, but it kind of reminds me of Transformers Prime, but that's just me. So posability wise, he's really nice. Nothing at the head. The shoulders have a ball joint in and out and forward. Ball joint at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist. The waist has a ball joint, but there is this little piece here that kind of gets in the way. And in order to, you either can be there or there. There's really no in between. But other than that, he kind of has a back and forth knee rock and then a knee swivel. Then the feet can kind of tilt a little bit too. But other than that, Megatron is really nice. I'm a fan of him. I really like having this version of Megatron from the comics because I really like the Megatron Origin comic, and it was definitely one of my favorites. So I'm really happy to have him. He was about $10. I would say, although I really like this design, he's probably my least favorite of the three that I got. The only one I don't have yet is Optimus Prime, and maybe I'll like him a little bit more when I have Optimus Prime and someone for him to kind of face off against. But as of now, he's probably my least favorite. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's been really close between the three that I got because they're all so good in their own way. But I think Megatron, just kind of, one of my main problems is that these shoulder things come off really easily, and it's just some of his elements of transformation don't really tab together so well. And although he's good, and I'm a big fan of the design, I really like the way the legs go together. There's just some stuff that could be improved upon, and that's definitely not deep talking mess on this figure. I really like it. I'm just saying that if I was to rank them, Megatron would be probably my least favorite of the three, and just for a couple minor reasons. But I still recommend you pick him up. I still think he's a really good buy. I really think he's worth the $10, and Chop Chop's pretty neat, even though he doesn't really do much in robot mode. So, but the tank, I think the tank mode edition really makes up for that, in that he's not a brick in both modes. He kind of doesn't do much in robot mode, but he can hold his own in the tank mode with that little Minesweeper gimmick. But anyway, that's my thoughts on them. So thank you for viewing this video, and goodbye.